Russia is the country that could
No,
stop this.
no,
Russia could withdraw
no,
now. Russia could stop
no,
killing Ukrainians.
no,
Russia could stop
no,
bringing war to the continent of
no,
Europe. And Russia
no,
has chosen
no,
not to do it. That's what
no.
this boils down to. In the chessboard of the war in Ukraine, a pawn has become a queen as Joe Biden says he'll let the country use American long-range missiles on targets inside Russia. Let's hear the view from Moscow and talk to Sergey Markov, Russian political scientist, former advisor to Vladimir Putin. Good morning to you.
I don't know. You really believe this morning is good? I think it's very bad because little France, Britain, and United States made very big step, even jump to the nuclear war and catastrophic destroying all human mind. All of yours will be killed probably end of this year, and your families will be killed and so on. And it's
hang on. So are you saying that the Ukraine? Yes, hang on. Sorry, I just want to be clear, Sergey, what you're saying there. The decision by Biden to authorize long-range weapons for Ukraine will lead to nuclear war.
Yes, exactly.
What Putin's going to press the button.
There, the button. Look at the history of the World War I. Nobody wanted the war, but war happened. It what became the absolutely catastrophe. It's exactly what could happen now. Nobody, of course, wants to have a nuclear war. But if you go the escalation steps, this escalation of the will move you to this direction. It's very easily. These rocket missiles. They will be used not Ukrainian soldiers and officers because technically they cannot do it. These rocket missiles will be fully managed by officers, military officers of the American Army, British Army, and French Army.
So you're saying that you believe that soldiers from France, the UK, and the US will be firing on Russian targets in Russia. That is simply not the case, though, is it? There is no evidence whatsoever of American, British soldiers actually engaged in direct warfare. That hasn't happened.
It's exactly what will be happen because technically. To target these rocket missiles, you need to have a satellite group and a very good map of the Russian territory. Such map has only American Army. By the way, even British and French Army has not. And to target those rocket missiles should be satellite group. Ukrainian Army has no satellite group. So, what kind of satellite group will be used for the target on these rocket missiles? What? Can you say the answer? Only answer: American, British, and French.
So, do you think Putin will regard this then? I mean, he says this all the time. He said this for the last 1,000 days. He said, if you arm the Ukrainians, it will be a direct attack on Russia by NATO countries. He's said that over and over again. Do you think this is a special escalation? Do you think he'll do something different as a result of this?
Yeah, it's expectations that he will do something very special, but also we probably, because one of the plans of those escalation which have been made by leaders of Britain, French, and United States is not to allow party of peace in name of Donald Trump to come to power. We know the party of war led by Joe Biden and Macron and your all prime ministers, they want escalation of war. And Trump wants to have peace deal. In this party of war, now try to stop legal coming to power party of peace.
So do you think
Americans support Trump? Very big majorities they support Trump because Americans don't want to move to the nuclear war. It's very easy. I think if your British voters also will vote on the referendum, do you have war against nuclear Russia? They will answer no.
Do you think Trump and Putin will be able to do a deal? Do you think Putin will wait till January the 20th and do a deal involving Donald Trump that ends the invasion of Ukraine by Russia?
Yeah, I think now Russian leaders has to make the choice. It's a very difficult choice. On one hand, it's impossible not to give any response, because if you're not giving response to the escalation, to such a party or war, which is presented by Western leaders, they will continue escalation. That's right. Same time, if Russia will give very strong response, the situation can move to the nuclear catastrophe already this year. This year, before the Christmas, probably if Putin will have same policy as Biden, as your Steinmeier, or you're changing the name of the prime minister, nobody remembers these names, and it's can come to the nuclear catastrophe before the Christmas days.
The true party of war in all of this is, of course, Russia. Russia is the country that has invaded Ukraine. Russia is the country that could stop this. Russia could withdraw now. Russia could stop killing Ukrainians. Russia could stop bringing war to the continent of Europe, and Russia has chosen not to do it. That's what this boils down to. Putin could walk away and bring peace, and he chooses not to. And we can dress this up in as much verbal flowers as we like, Sergey. Ultimately, Putin could walk away from this, and he's choosing not to.
Can you imagine? You created in Ukraine terroristic neo-Nazi regime. Can you imagine now Russian the Orthodox Church, which has been here more than 1,000 years, now is prohibited. Orthodox Church is prohibited by Ukrainian president. Yeah. You know that Russian language is the language of the 80% of population of Ukraine.
We've had these Sergey. We've had these arguments. We've had these disputes before. I understand. We understand.
Prohibited in Great Britain.
We understand.
How you will react?
We understand the points that you make with regards to that. We had that discussion before, but it's fascinating the level to which you regard this an escalation, which is important for us to hear. I think, Sergey, good to speak to you. Thank you for joining us. That's Sergey Markov, Russian political scientist, former advisor to Vladimir Putin. The line's not always entirely clear, but the thing he said very, very clearly at the end: this is a step that will take us to nuclear war, and the nuclear war would come from Vladimir Putin. Now, Vladimir Putin says that sort of thing quite often, but it's just an example of things that are clearly being discussed in Russia.
Julian has got in touch. Most of your commentary on this is not broadcastable, but Julian says there's an easy answer, my friend. Stop killing your neighbours. Move back to your border. There is no need to threaten us.